appliances and importance. And our session will be taken care of by architect Shweta Manik Sethi, Head of Design Research and Strategy at Hiten, Sethi and Associates, and architect Vikram Singha, Associate Counsellor IGBC Mumbai. Before I invite on stage, I would like to introduce you all a brief intro on each of them. Shweta Manik Sethi is a design strategist specializing in positive impact strategies for public buildings and spaces. After completing her Masters in Design Innovation from Glasgow School of Art, she has been actively promoting responsible design practices and applicable design research through teaching and practice. She is associated with Hiten, Sethi and Associates for the last 2 years, developing inclusive design practices for her public building projects. Being a certified WELL AP, she is now also involved in green certification for all the firm's projects. Can we have a huge round of applause for her, please? And now about architect Vikram Singha. He is an associate councillor at Indian Green Building Council, which is a part of Confederation of Indian Industry. He has been part of the IGBC team since the last 6 years and based out of CII Mumbai office. Architect Vikram is responsible for IGBC project registrations in Western India, that is Maharashtra, Gujarat, Goa, and the associated union territories in this region. Besides, he supports the IGBC certifications team by helping them with feasibility studies and hand-holding projects to achieve and enhance the rating. In addition, he also works with the green building consultants to guide them with the IGBC processes. He is an IGBC accredited professional and certified specialist in CSG. Ladies and gentlemen, I would now like to request architect Anil Jagwani to escort them both on stage. Come on, a huge round of applause, ladies and gentlemen, for them. It's post-lunch. We can do definitely better than that. Use up all the energy. Come on. I would request architect Anil to offer a floral welcome to each of them. Please note this floral bouquet is very beautifully and artistically crafted by origami. In fact, that's spearheaded by none other than architect Bobby, who's seated out there itself, and his team. So that's a beautiful memory to take back home. Come on, everybody. Thank you so much. Architect Shweta will take the lead. She will have the first presentation, followed by architect Vikram.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you IDCS for inviting us. Mr. Sethi was actually looking forward to make this presentation by himself. However, due to an unavoidable official meeting that was scheduled urgently, he had to miss the event. Sustainable practices support ecological, human and economic health and vitality. The Indian government is seen strongly promoting green initiatives by setting up an environmental committee that we know is MOEF, then also by putting laws into statutes. After being a part of the Paris Convention and seeing that our PM has committed that the country will be net zero by 2070 and now by 2050, it is important for all of us, architects, to work collectively towards carbon neutrality. It gives me immense pleasure to introduce on behalf of Mr. Vikram Sethi a project that I am really inspired by. the National Cancer Institute that we have recently completed in Nagpur. Just to give you a brief introduction about the project, this project was actually, when it started, the brief that was given to us by the clients was basically they wanted a hospital that does not look, feel or smell like a hospital. Patients were their main protagonists. They wanted patients and the families of the patients to feel extremely comfortable and like they were really taken care of as soon as they approach the hospital and when they enter the hospital also. So the hospital is spread out on an area of 7.5 lakh square feet. The project also won a lot of awards, as you can see. We got the MEDA award. We got the Best Design for Oncology Center award. These are the main programs. They are distributed in 7. It starts with diagnostic services, the inpatient services, the pharmacy medical records, which is our clinical support, the general support, which has catering, cafes, things like that. Other very important areas such as clinical research, academics, which are also a very important ambition that the hospital has, and then also followed by emergency and ambulatory services. So the main concept that the architect came up with when he was told that we are looking at patients as the main protagonists was that a patient should feel free from the fear of cancer. So from that evolved the idea of a flying bird with wings. And also the site that was presented to us was a linear site which was mostly south facing. So what we did with this was, since it's situated in Nagpur and has such a tough, really scorching heat and a very difficult weather, we thought we shouldn't have services scattered here and there. We should have everything under one roof. And hence we started with one solitary single mast, which we then lifted up and we thought we should have wings. And then, as you can see, with the huge mast that there is, we thought we should introduce greens and we should introduce a lot of natural light which helps in healing. And that is how we slowly evolved and then went to that kind of form. Talking about the location, there was a need of a state-of-the-art facility for cancer in the central India, and we thought Nagpur was the best location. That's how we came to that site. Talking about the site plan, as you can see, the whole project is one huge building which is approached by a big part of landscape, because we also know that landscape is an important part of healing for patients. So the 15-meter road that you see is for patients, and then the 6-meter road that you see is for staff and doctors and so on. The building that you see there is already constructed. Nursing College Hostel, Yatri Niwas and ancillary areas are the ones that will be coming soon. So these are the typical plans. As you can see, the orange part there is where we welcome the patients and their families. That is very intentionally kept as a very large area because we want to welcome patients and want them to feel very welcome. It's also a double height area, which you can see in the further pictures. It's also a double height area because we want them to feel free. So the concept doesn't just sit as a tagline in the presentation or as a tagline under NCI that says freedom from the fear of cancer. It is actually visible from the design that we have actually come up with and the design that we were actually able to build. Other parts there you can see there is a radiology department, a nuclear medicine department, emergency and things like that. So what we've done here is as soon as you enter, patient experience has been kept the first and most important thing. So what we've done is Now, in general studies of the hospital, it was found out that when a person wants to, in hospitals, there should be at least one window that can allow the patient to see the sky. Here, we place all the rooms in such a manner that there's one wall which is directly opening out to the sky. The 6th and 7th floors have all recovery rooms. If you can see those. So finally, this is what we achieved. Certain views. The landscape is kept so open and so normal because most of this hospital is actually a charitable hospital and some rooms are also kept so that it becomes really sustainable. For that, the people who come here are mostly from rural areas. They should also feel welcome and they shouldn't feel very overwhelmed. That's why the landscape is also kept such that it's quite simple. Again, another point that I would like to mention is in the prosthetic shop, the hospital has also tried to make people feel so comfortable that they don't want to make them feel like something is missing or something is wrong with them. So it looks more like a spa. So when you are going for prosthesis, you feel like you are doing something better and not something that is missing for you. Healing landscapes, like I mentioned, are also a very important part of this. Patients suffer, patients' families also suffer. So the patient's families also should have a place to sit, relax. So that is how pain versus hope is then shown through these landscapes. So what we've done here is for the architectural innovation, what we've done is to achieve these shape of wings. We have 21-meter cantilevers that are coming out from a huge RCC center, and that is achieved completely by PED structure. The Hiten is really tackled by. So the important part was, since it's a hospital, we had to have a lot of natural light coming in, and that's why we decided to go with a glass building. But to make it sustainable again, and so that we don't have a lot of heating or heat loss, double glazing and that kind of a semi-metallized glazing glass was used. We also used Korean solid surface, and this project is where Asia's maximum Korean solid surface is used on one surface. Then again, to shade the glass surface, we make use of aluminium films. There are a lot of green building fixtures and features that the building uses. For instance, one important one is we have the whole parking, the patient parking covered by solar panels, which help a lot in the energy conservation. We've used all the topsoil in the landscape and other features. Then the angle of fins was designed in such a manner that they give us maximum benefit. I'm just going to quickly run through the slides. These are the completed images. To make the patients feel at home, we have I Am Akar written in 23 languages. These are those atriums that are stripped out of the building. which let in a lot of natural light. These are the waiting areas. Another important small decision that makes a huge difference is generally in hospitals we see metal furniture which is very uncomfortable to sit in, even for the families of the patients. So in this building, everywhere you see you find only sofas and no metal furniture. So as much as possible we try to give the best experience as possible for the patients and their families. These are also waiting areas, and you can also see that the corridors are being kept very wide. That is also a very conscious decision, so that people don't feel claustrophobic or people don't have to see. The zoning is also done in such a manner that people, the new patients don't have to see other patients suffering. So that is also something that really impacts how you think about cancer. This is a small view. Thank you. I would now like to call Mr. Vikram Singha.
So, good afternoon to all. So today, just after this case study on the National Cancer Institute, I would like to talk a bit about the Indian Green Building Council. I think many of you might be aware about it, but what is it about? What are the different activities we are in? What are the IGBC certification process? I will talk about a little bit more on the green EPS rating as well, and a small case study also. So we'll just move ahead and I'll try to cover, because I thought we had more time, but I think I'll try to cover a little quickly. I will stop and discuss more wherever it's relevant sections. So you see this slide, you can see the older building, traditional buildings on the top and some contemporary buildings at the bottom. So the purpose of this slide is to show that Indian Green Building Council respects and we value that the traditional designs, passive designs should be used in conjunction with the modern technologies, and then we should move ahead. This is basically the agenda I will try to cover, but we may not be able to focus on everything, but I will try to stop and explain in some parts which might be relevant to you. So, first of all, thanks to IIID for this opportunity and in this IDCS, and also to all of you to taking your time out on this, I think, weekend. This is a very hot and humid climate right now in Mumbai. So thank you to all. Then I'll start with IGBC. So many of you might be aware, you might be seeing CII with IGBC. Basically, CII is the organization which has formed IGBC in 2001. CII is a more than 125-year-old organization. It's an apex industry body and it has centers of excellence. The centers of excellence are basically the technical institutions like centers which CII has formed so that Indian industry can grow not only in terms of manufacturing quality but also in sustainability aspects. So in this regard, they have established this our center. Let's come to that. So IGBC was formed by CII in 2001. The vision is to enable sustainable built environment for all. And India should be one of the global leaders in terms of green buildings by 2025. Actually, we are very close to achieving that. In fact, I'll come to that in the later slide. So this is the building. If you see, this is a very unique kind of a building. You see the traditional, design, the courtyard at the center. You can see a green roof so that the heat island mitigation is there. You have the red color. You can see the wall that is actually a brick jali wall where the daylight and ventilation is there, but the harsh heat and glare is not there. Actually we have wind towers. The hot and dry climate of Hyderabad can be used so that with the sprinkling of water through this wind towers, the air temperature going into the chillers can be cooled down slightly. So the air conditioning unit are slightly more efficient. We have solar panels aligned as per the sun path. So this was actually one of the first very highest rated green buildings at that time in 2003 when it was started. It was inaugurated by our late President Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam in 2004. So you see this building now looks slightly different. A couple of slides back, how it looked, now it is slightly different. So after 15 years, we did not want to stop at being platinum rated. Now it has become a net zero energy building. Basically, you see there are solar panels all across the roof. It is you can see it's a kind of white color painted. This is highly reflective. There are paints used. This solar panel is unique. This is a bifacial solar panel because it produces energy from both the sides. So the reflected energy from the sun from the roof is also used to produce energy. It can be installed vertically as well if required, and the energy it is producing is more than what we require. So basically by design this building was efficient, and now it is also being run on-site renewable energy. It's a net zero energy building, and it was again inaugurated by the government of Telangana officials, also various senior IGBC chairperson and others in 2019. And so just to give you a brief about what are the strengths of IGBC. Of course, we are a team of 100 professionals. There are many green building consultants in the market who we have trained for the past 2 decades. So we also count them as part of our own team. That is why we say 500 professionals. We also try to help handle projects wherever required, training, capacity building. There are local chapters similar to IIID we have in Thane here. There are of course the various offices of CI across India and world. So this is the national leadership. Obviously, Mr. Gurpreet Singh Arora is the chairperson, and also Mr. B. Thagran is the vice chair of IGBC. This is the local and national regional leadership of IGBC across 29 chapters in India. So I'll just focus slightly more on this. Also, we are also part of the Global World Green Building Council, which is a nodal association of the green building councils across the world. So there are about 70 countries which are part of the World Green Building Council, and IGBC is also one of the founding members since 2004. And also IGBC's secretariat is represented in the board of the Asia Pacific network of the World Green Building Council. So there are various networks similar to like Europe network, North America network, Middle East. So IGBC represents the Asia Pacific network. So just as I mentioned during the earlier slide when I talked about the vision of IGBC to be one of the leaders in the India should be one of the leaders in the world in terms of green buildings. So you can see about 10.27 billion square feet of registered footprint in India. So this is a very big milestone. Even the President of India had released a publication by IGBC in month of February. So India is actually one of the top two in terms of in the world in terms of registered green footprint. So we have almost achieved our vision in terms of IGBC. So I'll move forward. There is another vision which we are now coming to. I will come to that in our later slides. So So green buildings are not about just buildings which are in big cities like Mumbai, Delhi and others. If you see, you can find green buildings from Kashmir to Kanyakumari, from Kutch in the west to Kohima in the east. So across the tier 2, tier 3 cities you will be able to find green buildings. So if someone asks you, just one takeaway from this presentation, if you want to have someone ask you what is a green building, you should be able to answer it very quickly and easily. That uses less water, optimizes energy, conserves natural resources, generates less waste, as well as it should be healthy for the people who are occupying it. It's very important. So of course the buildings are built for the people, not for the environment. So the health and well-being of the people is also very important in a green building. So what we say is green building is not suddenly, with IGBC it has come in 2001. It was already a part of our ancient culture. So we say the 5 elements of nature, the Panch Tattvas, the Prithvi, Jal, Agni, Vayu, Akash. All of you must be familiar with the terms like water, earth, energy, sky. So these are all aligned to our modules of IGBC. Which are sustainable site, water efficiency, energy efficiency, indoor environment quality, and daylight and night side pollution. So the pictures at the bottom, if you see, these are all part of our ancient designs like the water bodies which cool the ambient temperature, courtyard, jali walls, higher ceilings to help reduce the climate, the temperature inside the building. So I will also just focus slightly on this slide. Also, you see a lot of ratings, 31 ratings. So there is a reason there are 31 ratings in IGBC. I'll just give you some very diverse kind of ratings to just highlight like we have something called the green data center. So green data center is a highly energy consuming building. Although there might not be so many occupants in a building, but it's a very high in terms of energy consumption. Like from 5 megawatts it can go to 15, 20, 30 megawatts or higher. So there is specific requirement for such kind of building. So we have a green data center rating. If you go at the other end, there is something called IGBC Nest, which was launched last year. So you see at the serial number 14, Nest is like a rural, especially tier 2-3 cities where people have their own mud houses or kacha houses. They develop it into a pakka house, but there is no system to evaluate it. So this rating was launched specifically for that purpose, and many of the finance corporations, microfinance companies, product manufacturers, they also wanted to understand how they can be converted to green. So you see data center, rural small housings, individuals which are about 1000 to 1500 square feet. We have metro ratings. So all the metros which is coming up in here, in Thane, everywhere, they are all registered under IGBC's green MRTS rating, Mass Rapid Transit System. You have even the built environment, like the city, township level certifications are available. Right from industry, the health and well-being rating, you name it, it is there. So the one I did not speak about is net zero. So net zero must be aware, you must have heard the term net zero in many places. It talks about the Honorable Prime Minister of India also had committed in 27 that by 2070 India will be net zero carbon. So in 2021 during the COP26 conference in Glasgow. But to respond to that, we already had launched the net zero energy rating in 2018. Then 2020 we had launched the water. So these are all addressing the larger goal of going to net zero carbon, but in a stepwise manner. So net zero also are the few of the ratings of IGBC. So all these ratings are of course aligned with the National Building Code, Energy Conservation Building Code, Ministry of Environment, Forest. So if you comply with IGBC rating, you should automatically, you should be actually complying with all the relevant national guidelines. Now all these ratings have been developed by the technical committee of this particular rating. For example, the interior green interiors rating has been developed with the help of the IIID. The railway stations, the green railway stations rating has been developed. The technical committee chairperson is architect Hiten himself of the green railway station rating. So these are all developed with the relevant bodies and from the industry and from people like you. And all these ratings have a various threshold in terms of what is points. In terms of 50% of the points is usually certified, 60% of the point is silver, 70 gold, 80% and above points if you achieve it is platinum. So these are basically the various thresholds. And if any of the green buildings, they achieve the IGBC certification, they will somehow be addressing the sustainable development goals. Out of the 17 sustainable development goals, at least 9 will be somehow be touched by a certified green building or a green building in general. So whatever the IGBC ratings are all aligned with our local climatic conditions, bylaws and everything. But of course, whenever project is certified at platinum level, especially they are in global in terms of their performance. So we'll just focus on the government incentives. What are the government incentives which has been given to green buildings in India? So you can see the map. About 12 state governments are giving some kind of incentives. Especially the green colored ones have the floor area, additional floor area ratio. So from 3 to 15% depends on the state. Maharashtra has 3, 5 and 7% additional floor area ratio for green buildings complying with silver, gold and platinum. Some other states like Kerala have different rate, incentives like lower property tax for the occupiers. Less building building fees for construction is also reduced. Stamp duty, some reductions is there in Kerala. So you can see that in Gujarat there is a tourism, there is a incentive given for tourism related buildings which are going green. The fees is reimbursed up to 50%. Tamil Nadu there is industrial policy where industrial buildings going green get some incentives. So this is a very interesting topic. You see, people might be thinking, if you build a green building, it will always be more expensive. Just to you can try to understand what is the trend for the past years. So it depends really on what level of rating. I spoke just earlier that silver, gold and platinum. If it's silver, then maybe not much cost is required. It's all you can easily comply. Many of the larger commercial projects require many of the rainwater harvesting, STPs and other things. But also it will also depend on the life cycle cost you are looking at or the first investments you are looking at. So if you can see the slide, it says that our own building in 2003 when it was constructed was about 18% more expensive. It was 20,000 square feet. It took 7 years for the payback of the additional cost. If we go down the same column, the percentage increase in cost, you can see from 18% it goes down to 2%. So the cost, incremental cost has been steadily going down. At the same time, if you see the built-up area, in terms of 20,000 square feet, our own building was there. If you go down 8 lakh square feet, there's a Suzlon 1 Earth. It's a huge building. At the same time, the incremental cost is also less. So now in 2023, we are talking about like hardly 1% additional cost if you do it by design, the green building features. Even recently internally we try to understand what are the cost of the green building in one project. I will just give you one example. With about 11,000 square meter residential building in Bangalore, we compared the cost of the construction in terms of conventional building and a green building, and we found that the construction of a green building, IGBC certified green homes rating project was about 2% less than the conventional building. So now we can see the construction cost is even less. So it actually makes sense to go green for all the projects. Even the government of Maharashtra in its incentive has actually made it mandatory for any new government project coming up in Maharashtra. It should actually get minimum silver rating, that is mandate. So we can easily actually go for a silver rating or higher if we can do it by design. So just I will speak about the certification process. What are the different steps? So first is the registration process for anyone who is interested. Like registration process involves just the basic details of the project, wherein we speak about the built-up area, location, site area, what is the point of contact, what is the type of building. Then after that, once we have those details, we will share an email with the various document or templates. We will share that with you. And then once the templates are received, we can prepare the documentation and submit to IGBC. And once we get the documentation, what will happen is within 30 days, we'll do a review and we'll get back to you with the points. Suppose some project has applied for 100 points. Out of 100, maybe you must have received 70 points. Maybe 30 points are still pending. Maybe the additional clarifications required. So those clarifications will prepare and submit to us again. Whatever additional points are there. Then we'll also do a site visit in the meantime with your permission. And after that, whatever the clarifications have been requested, once they are submitted, we'll again come up with a final review within 30 days. And if the rating is acceptable, then of course you can go ahead and accept the rating, or you can again appeal certain points you still want to go ahead with. And this is called pre-certification. This is very something apart from the certification, which is of course required if you want to certify the building. This is especially required pre-certification in cases where you want additional government incentive like FAR, or you want to market the project as a green building. So here only the design documents are required, and what are the intentions in terms of your implementation, some declarations of what kind of products, materials you want to use. Those things are required, and based on that, pre-certification is awarded. So just I will speak about, since it's a triple IDS, focus on slightly on green interiors rating. What is it? A case study on it. So this is a unique rating, of course, developed with support of triple ID. It is applicable for both new and existing interior fit out. It has modules on energy, water, eco design, interior materials, indoor environment. It's also suitable for small and large offices, retail stores, bank branches, and also it helps in enhancing the resource and customer comfort, resource efficiency and customer comfort in many of these projects. So see one project, just to brief, it's more of a pictorial case study. Will get a look and feel of it. It's a project of Dell in Bangalore. It's about 18,000 square meter project. Got the platinum rating, 84 points. About 2,000 occupants use this building interiors, and so the highlights are of course the workstation, which are flexible. Then we have many salvage materials being used many of places. Good daylight and other things are there. Ventilation. We'll come to see that. So if we move on, you see the use of salvage materials. You can see that many of the salvage used materials from computer parts and others have been used to create an artwork in the one of the central courtyards. The interesting use of instead of going to landfill, they are used in a very creative way. So also there is a fresh air ventilation. This is very important for all green interiors project. Fresh air ventilation is mandatory. They are actually providing more pressure than what is required for 33,800 CFM. So the better, more the fresh air, the better in terms of the CO2 levels control in the building. Apart from that, they are using the MERP filters in their AHUs. So this helps reduce the indoor pollutants also. And whenever they are taking the pressure from outside, the outside pollutants are also minimized. So one of the important aspects of a green interior rating is daylight. How much of the daylight you are getting in the office. About 60% of the regularly occupied spaces have about 300 lux minimum available in this office. You can see very well good views as well as daylight across the office. About 98% of the occupants are able to have good outdoor views. That is also very important. So you should be able to know whether you're sitting whether outside, it's night, day, it's raining. You can see, understand, it will help in increasing the productivity of the employees also. So you can see everywhere the good outdoor views across the office. Also very important is economic design of the furniture, and this you can see the adjustable monitors as per the height of the occupant. Even the desks are adjustable. A desk can be, if someone wants to work standing, they don't want to sit, they can adjust the desk and work accordingly. Again, the lighting, energy efficiency, in terms of lighting, there is 48% reduction in the lighting power density, use of efficient lighting fixtures, motion sensors, and many things they have incorporated here. In terms of water efficiency, about 45% of water savings is there from the baseline. In terms of water efficient, fixtures like low flow fixtures, sensor based tap, like 1.3 liter per minute. Flow rate 4 or 2.2 liter per flush of WC. Health faucet urinals are about 0.5 liter per flush. Very highly water efficient fixtures have been used. Again, very interesting and important part of, I think, of interiors is the indoor plants. About 95% of the regularly occupied area there are indoor plants. IGBC Green Interiors Rating recommend about one indoor plant in 100 square feet of the interior space. So they have about 1344 indoor plants across the office. These are very useful because some of them are very, they absorb formaldehyde, many VOCs, so that they are very, also help in relaxing in the time. So also apart from that, the acoustics are also very important. There are, the NRC values or many of the acoustic materials are about 0.7, which is good. 0 to 1 is the scale of the NRC, 0.7, 1 being like the material which is able to absorb all the noise, not reflecting. So 0.7 is very close to that. So you can see the use of MDF and partition walls. Of course, apart from this, there is also important is that indoor environment pollution is reduced. A simple intervention. This is nothing very complicated. Having mats at the entrance so that pollutants in your shoes is dislodged at the outdoors, not contaminating the indoor air. Simple measures. Waste segregation in terms of wet, dry, electronic, biohazard should be done and properly, disposed of. Of course, there are certain health and well-being related, things in the office, like dedicated dining space is very important thing. Then apart from that, we have some, breakout spaces where local artwork has been promoted. And also this is one of the important parts of a green interiors rating is called the green education, wherein we say that of course the office is green certified, but what about the employees or the occupants who are coming in, what message they are taking back to their homes and what they are implementing. So like save water, or the light fixtures can be switched off, or maybe the waste should be segregated. Some simple messages can be put forward, and there are additional points in green interiors rating for this. So I will just go and try to not take much of your time. Already we are running late. I'll just focus on some of the new initiatives and updates on IGBC. What apart from the green buildings you just saw, what we are doing, what are the new areas we are working on. So net zero I spoke about. It's a very important topic. Everywhere you see they are focusing on net zero. 3 different rating: net zero, energy, water, waste. The carbon framework will be launched this year during our annual conference called the Green Building Congress. So this net zero mission was launched in the Earth Day on 22nd April 2021. There were about 300 signatories across the country who had participated. The World GBC CEO is Christina Gamboa on the left corner, or the bottom sheet there, along with the IGBC chairperson, Mr. Suresh. So this is the vision. I talked about the IGBC vision initially. Now this is the next, threshold in terms of next path for us to facilitate India to be the foremost country in implementation and demonstration of world-class net zero energy, water, waste and carbon buildings by 2030. So this is something our efforts are more towards this. Green buildings, of course, we have been working and creating awareness for the past 2 decades, but this is the next frontier for us. Across everyone, across the planet, especially in terms of the climate change and other risks involved. So, I would like to, with this one slide, I would like to help you. Someone asks you what is a net zero energy building, you should be able to answer this very simply. So NZEB means net zero energy building. It's just an acronym we have used. So basically, it does not mean a very inefficient building. Put some solar panels or renewable energy and it becomes a net zero. That is not the concept. The concept is the building by design. If possible, it should be a very efficiently designed building which is having passive features so that the demand of energy is first of all reduced. Instead of 10 lights, if you have 8 lights installed, that is good. The demand is actually reduced. Now this demand from 8 lights or other fixtures should be compensated by highly efficient lighting or equipments, motors, pumps. And the demand from this highly efficient system should be met by the renewable energy, either on-site or off-site. So that is the basic concept of net zero energy buildings. So basically in our rating also the 75% weightage is given for energy efficiency and 25% for renewable energy. So this is the net zero energy. Similarly for water, net zero water means we reduce the demand on the fresh water sources, potable water sources like municipal water, borewell water, water purchase from tanker, and use what is there from the alternative sources like rainwater harvested, treated grey water, condensate water, purchased grey water, such kind of things. So this equation, this simple equation, if you are able to make it closer to zero, it is a net zero in a water building. Similarly for net zero waste to landfill means the objective is that the waste should not be going to the landfills as much as possible. How we can reduce the waste to reuse, recycle, and reduce as much as possible the waste going to the landfill. So that is the basic concept of the waste to landfill. So just you already are maybe aware about many of the things. What are the intangible benefits? Tangible benefits we all know: energy, water savings, all those things. But of course, the World Green Building Council in its report, one of its report has said that it reduces the absenteeism in the employees in offices, increases retention, enhances the reduces actually the communicable respiratory diseases, allergies, and other health discomforts. IGBC also had partnered with the World Green Building Council for understanding a report called the Better Places for People, wherein we found that about 80% of the occupants were thermally comfortable in green buildings because of the good design, proper operations of the facilities. They were happy with the lighting levels. There are many intangible benefits of green buildings. So this is one of the interesting ratings in the 31 ratings which you saw earlier in the slide. This was one of the ratings called health and well-being. Here we are not talking about the environment, we are not talking about energy efficiency, we are only talking about the people. It is the people setting, how the people are feeling in terms of their physical comfort, emotional, intellectual as well as social. So this rating, health and well-being, is very unique in terms of its approach. It is very much occupant-centric rating. Apart from this, it's a very, since all we are here, like IIID, so products, there are many products which are actually certified under Green Pro, which is our sister organization. So it's called the Green Products Council. It is part of the global eco-labeling network. So about 6,300 products are certified under Green Pro. 200 plus companies are there as part of it. 32 sectors have been covered. So these are basically the parameters. I won't go into that. Basically it talks about material sources, product performance, product design, life cycle approach, waste management, end of life cycle, what we are doing with the product, such kind of things. And these are the various categories under which Green Pro is available, like construction materials, building envelope, facade, paints, coating, chemicals, adhesives, building interiors, technologies. We name it by 90% by cost of building of passive building is available now under the Green Pro certification. So this is very interesting. I think we should also try to wherever possible go for green products, Green Pro certified products. So these are some of the other initiatives many of you might be aware of about IGBC AP accredited professional exam. Anyone wants to go in the path of green building, they should actually see this trajectory wherein we talk about from student level to it goes up to the professionals who are IGBC fellows. There is IGBC accredited professional examination usually which is there for professionals available. Then these are various training programs also we conduct. If you're interested, let us know. So this is the IGBC AP certification. About 6,600 professionals are qualified, but this is too less. Actually, now it's everywhere you see the corporates are also going ahead. They have realized now that it's very important. It's now almost mandatory now. So we need more professionals who are qualified about green building. What are green buildings? How they can comply with various requirements. So we request each and every one of you, if you have not, to also become an IGBC AP. This is a very interesting training program coming up next week and also in August. If you would like, you can also participate. It's a fun way, it's a quiz competition. So I take the opportunity to also invite you if you are available for this IGBC AP called IGBC Green Week, similar to IPL. Try to make it more fun and exciting. Of course, the membership will help you with similar to this chapter. Local chapter will help you to connect with the green building community. Of course, there are certain discounts in this training programs and building certification fees available. Also, we have the flagship program where I mentioned it. Our urban net zero carbon rating will be launched. It's a long way away, 24th of November, 23rd November in Chennai. Since I'm here, I would like to also invite you for that. 24th first edition of the Green Building Congress. Apart from that, we have something called the coffee table book. It documents the certified projects across India. It's a biannual publication. Every 2 years we publish it. So it is basically the certified projects. There are 5 volumes. So if you would like, you can of course let me know. We can share a coffee table book with you. And just to sum up and complete this presentation, so what began as one building in 2001, 20,000 square feet, has now become about 10.26 billion square feet of registered green buildings and across the cross section of the built environment. And it belongs to every one of you, each one of you, not just IGBC or some people. It belongs to like government, people like you, architects, interior designers, students, you name it. Everyone is part of this green building movement. So I would like to thank you. So this is the picture of our executive board at the top, and the bottom picture is actually our all employee of the Green Business Center in Hyderabad. And I would just like to leave you with this quote of our late chairman, Dr. Prem Singh Jain. It's interesting. He said that if we change the way we think about buildings, what we build might change the world. So I would like to thank you, and if you require anything else, I can stay back for some more time and have some discussion with you if you require.
Ladies and gentlemen, come on, a huge round of applause for architect Vikram. I would like to invite architect Shweta to please join us on stage. A very big thank you once again to both of them for that extremely informative session. There is so much to take back home, so much to learn, so much to ponder on from the sessions. We have token of appreciation for each of you. May I request Architect Dilip Deshmukh to please join me on stage to present it to Architect Shweta. Sir, you're welcome. Come on, ladies and gentlemen, a huge round of applause. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to keep the claps pouring. Thank you so much. I would now request Architect Nishikant Chaudhary to please come on stage and present the memento to Architect Vikram. What happened to people who just like, come on? Thank you so much. And now, ladies and gentlemen, much required, much needed tea coffee break. We're going to break for tea coffee. In fact, you don't need to leave this room itself because we have tea coffee served for you right here. So you can take your cup, your glass of tea coffee, and requesting you all to join me at sharp 4:15. Please, sharp 4:15, because we have an interesting presentation, a session about the topic in the realms of world of cinema. And the session is going to be taken by none other than Mr. Nitin Chandrakant Desai, Art Director and Production Designer of Culture. Definitely don't want to miss this. 4:15, I will see you all.